Hello fellow human! Welcome back to another Dank Doggo / ChoosingBeggar videos. Do you guys just love pizza? I sure do! Especially pepperoni. But would you ever try to scam someone for pizza though? First story by Dank Doggo, entitled Mom Uses Her Daughter to Scam Me for Cheap Pizza. While working at a pizza place in Los Angeles, I had a customer come in with her young daughter, probably around 8 to 11 years old. They had balloons and other birthday paraphernalia. First thing the mother says is that it's her daughter's birthday today. I said happy birthday to the daughter, who replied with thank you, but it was actually Friday. The mom had kind of nervous look on her face, but quickly took it off. I didn't see this as a red flag, but it was definitely strange. They look over the menu for a minute or two and place their order. It was roughly $100 worth of food. The mom then asked me if we can deliver it to a nearby park where they would be having a birthday party. This was also strange, as people usually place delivery orders over the phone, but this had happened a couple of times before, so I didn't think much of it. Once it come times for payment, the mom asked if we have any sales or specials. This pizza place is popular and relatively high-end, so we rarely offer any kind of discounts for non-regulars. I told her no, we don't have any kind of discounts. She gave me a reluctant okay and asked for the price. I told her the price and she tried to haggle with me. I told her that I couldn't lower the price. She kept insisting I give her a better deal on the food. Eventually, I gave up, and I said that I would give her 10% off our friends and family discounts. She then asked for 25% off. I told her no, and that she could take the 10% off or leave. She left. The whole thing was weird, but we have to deal with scammers once in a while. I've never had someone try to haggle with me before, but this isn't the weird part. About 10 minutes after all of this went down, the younger daughter comes inside, alone and holding a smartphone out. The daughter comes up to me and asks me if they can get more than 10% off their order. I noticed that the mom was on speakerphone with her, and that's why she had the phone out in her hand. The mom was listening to the conversation. She sent her daughter in hoping that I would feel bad for the kid and give them a discount. I definitely felt bad for the daughter. She must have been so embarrassed, and it made me furious. I leaned closer to phone so that tramp of a mom could hear me and said, I can't give you a discount, and it's kind of awful that your mom is doing this. Unlike your mom, you seem like a really nice sweet girl. How would you like a free slice of pizza? I showed her all of the slices we had available, hoping that she would feel better. And then she says she doesn't really like pizza. This only further confirmed that the mom is a trashy piece of crap who used her daughter to scam us for cheap pizza. My blood boiled. How can anyone be that trashy? And for God's sakes, don't get your kid involved in your little scheme. Anyways, I then offered the daughter free soda. She didn't accept. I offered her a bottle of water. She didn't accept. Eventually, I just told her that she was really nice and should never do what her mom is doing. I wish I had the chance to speak with the mom alone so that I could tell her she's a piece of crap and should go F herself. I just hope that the daughter doesn't grow up to be like her mom. Side note, thank God for the honesty of little kids. If I believed that little girl actually had a birthday that day, I maybe would have given them a big discount. And screw that mom for putting in so much work and making her daughter lie. TLDR, mom uses her daughter to scam me for free, cheap food. Sends daughter back in alone after I refused to give discounts to try and make me feel bad. I only felt bad for the daughter and offered a free slice of pizza. The daughter doesn't like pizza. Well, no one gets to choose their parents, but I wish some parents were much better. So sad to even imagine this, let alone to have it happen to someone like this innocent little girl in the story. We have the second story written by Say Opa. You have so many, why can't I just have some? So I work IT for a big company. Thankfully, the IT isn't going to be very relevant to the story. I work every day from 9 AM to 5 PM, and I don't tend to be very involved with my coworkers. The last few weeks, my supervisor, who has a daughter in the Girl Scouts, has been trying to sell her Girl Scouts cookies at work. Cool, I'm not interested, but not a big deal. She's had order sheets everywhere in the office and advertised a few times. Whatever, that's fine. Today was the delivery day. She came in with boxes and boxes of cookies to deliver and collect cash. Of course, today is the day that the CB decides to spend an entire half an hour at my supervisor's desk talking loudly in a shrill voice. "Oh wow, you have a lot of cookies. Can I eat some?" Naturally, my supervisor explains that she's selling her daughter's Girl Scouts cookie and they're already pre-ordered and she only has the amount that people ordered before. All this flies straight through the beggar's ears as she repeats, "But you have so many cookies, just let me eat one." Now, at this point, I get annoyed by the chatter, so I turn my music up and I get back to my work. Unfortunately, that piece didn't even last a single song before the high-pitched train whistle of her voice screams through the office. "It's not fair! You have so many cookies and you won't even let me eat one!" Bless my supervisor for being able to keep her calm, just telling the beggar that it wouldn't be then fair for the people who pre-ordered the cookies for them to not get their cookies. This exchange continued for a few more tries before the beggar stomped away without any cookies. As she leaves, I just hear my supervisor sigh and mutter under her breath, "Jesus Christ, Karen, how do you not understand the idea of a sale? You literally work in the marketing and sales department. How does this woman not know how Girl Scouts cookies work? Those girls are like everywhere." Next up, we have the third story shared by u/FireEyes1992. My brother-in-law, the anti-beggar. Backstory. This happened a few years ago, but I remember it well. My sister and her guy were living together and had a pond. He did not realize how terrible they are to clean and asked my brother and I to come and help him clean it. It was a big pond, like 3 foot by 3 foot and 1 foot deep at least. And we told him that it would take most of the day because we are absolutely not experts. Just to know that none of us mentioned money, and we figured that he was with our sister for so long that he was family, and he thought he was gonna just pay us whatever he felt was right. To the story, we go over on a regular Arizona summer day, so it was hot as hell. We realized that he was out still, so we shrugged and got into it. About an hour or so in, he shows up with breakfast for himself and us. We joked for a few times while we ate and then went back to work. He helped out and was coming along nice until we found a massive centipede. And we stopped to figure, how the F do we move that thing? Then of course, dared each other to do dumb crap to grab it because, well, we're guys, lmao. We finally get it out and move to the bushes when the brother-in-law says he has to leave and hops in his car and is gone for another hour. B and I just keep at it, scrubbing the alga and gug out, stopping occasionally to hide from the sun. Brother-in-law shows back up with lunch, expensive burgers. I don't remember where, but they were divine. We eat and laugh about how well it is coming along, and brother-in-law goes inside for a hat. B and I joke that we made out like bandits because we just wanted a 12-pack and a pizza to help and got 2 full meals. When brother-in-law comes back out, we finish the last 2 hours of sterilizing and prepping the thing for the fish. He asked us to set up a cover to keep cats out, and we figured it out and start filing it. Brother-in-law disappears again and comes out with a wad of cash. This is where the weirdest fight of my life happens. Brother-in-law, "Hey, thanks a tons guys, that sucked, so I figured $1.50 each." B and I look at each other confused. Brother-in-law, 150 bucks for each of you? Not enough? Fine, 200 bucks, last offer. B, dude, you're family. We came over to hang out like we do and help make a crappy job more fun. Me, besides, you fed our fat butts twice a day. I think we're good. Brother-in-law, right, so you can lord it over me later? No, take the cash. B, 200 bucks? Are you insane? Family, at least the parts we like, we help just to hang out with them. The crappiest job can be fun with the right company. Brother-in-law, I will pay you. I do not do the favor game. I always lose there. Me, seeing we're going nowhere. $20 total. It buys us dinner on the way home. That way you fed us all day. B looked at me and realized the same thing I did. It was more of a pride thing for brother-in-law, and I think and nodded his agreement. Brother-in-law, no. You work all day and deserve more. B, you fed us and helped, man. $20 is fair enough. Brother-in-law, $100. Me, $20 total. Take it or leave it. Brother-in-law, each. I don't want to rip you guys off. B and I, done. Grabbed our cash and left very confused. Later that night, we found out from our sister that since he has money, no one, even his own family, would just help him. He has started to come around that we like him and help just to harass him while we work. However, he does fall back sometimes to the "this cannot be" mindset sometimes. So, as you can see, there are teeny tiny chances that you'll meet a very rare and cool beggar like this. Moving on to the fourth story shared by you/very angry CNA. Choosing Beggar wants me to give her my stuff and just buy myself another one. I work in a nursing home as a nurse aide. It's a crap job, but I do it. We have a lady that works in a laundry room who is our CB. At first, it was nice when she first started working there. She was funny and brought a little life to the night shift, then the begging started. One day, she asked if I would take her to the local grocery store. It was literally just down the street, so I took her. Instead of popping in to get her lunch and popping out like she said, she ended up getting a decent bit of groceries. She could hardly carry them in her hands. I told her that I'm needed on the floor and I can't just sit around while she shops. She apologized and said it wouldn't happen again. It sure wouldn't because I wasn't going to take her anymore. After that, every time we would try to leave for lunch, she would stop me, asking me to get her something. The first time she did this, she actually handed me cash for her order, so I didn't mind getting this. After that first time, she just expected me to buy it for her. Then, if I was going to a restaurant she didn't want to eat from, she'd ask me to go somewhere else even though I said I don't eat at that restaurant. So yeah, she wanted me to spend my money on food that I didn't like so I could spend more money on food for her. I told her that this wasn't going to happen. Despite not getting what she wants from me, she still tries. My husband and I collect video games and consoles. We have almost any console you can think of. She mentioned that she wanted a certain console and we told her where she can get one for $50, which was a good price for the console she wanted. Her response was, "Why don't you give me yours and go buy the one for $50? Hell freaking no! After this, my husband and we worked together, became tech support somehow. She's always asking about fixing her tablet or phone. I know how to tinker with settings on a phone and computer, but I don't know how to physically fix problems with them. She had an outdated tablet and was asking me why her games wouldn't load. I told her that she might have had to get an updated tablet because some tablets won't update past a certain point as far as I know. She wanted an iPad, so I showed her one on Let Go for a decent price. Her response was, "I don't like that one, could you get me this one?" And she shows me an eBay one going for 3 times the cost of the one I showed her. I informed her that I had no intentions of buying her a tablet. I wasn't even going to buy her the cheap one either, and so she let it go. I know, you think that she can't do more than that, but she does. Just the other day, she was hanging around after her shift looking for a ride home. Since she doesn't live far from the facility, I said I'd drop her off on our way home. As soon as she closed the car door, she said, "Hey, can you stop by this store and this other store before you take me home?" My husband wasn't having it. He told her that we're not her personal drivers and that she's either being dropped off at home or dropped off at the store. Either way, we're only making one stop for her. She huffed and got out of the car and she said, "Guess I'll walk then." The next day, she waited around for people to drive her home again. It was then that I realized that I wasn't the only person she was begging from. Other aides were staying after their shift to avoid her. And some other aides had made the mistake of taking her where she wanted, so they were sneaking out of their bag while she was begging in the lobby. She went into the parking lot and started screaming. I couldn't understand what she was saying, but I could hear her from inside a resident's room. I had to calm one resident down because she had a lot of issues with people yelling. I also found out that she was leaving notes on the nurse station begging people to buy her a pack of cigarettes. My response was, if you can't buy them, then don't smoke them, when she told not ask me to get her a pack on my way out one day. You'd think that the treatment she gets, she'd stop, but she keeps on. I'm going to work today and ready for this mess all over again. As long as people help her, she'll keep demanding for more. Once everyone cuts her off, she'll either get it right or leave the job and mooch off others. That is the CB way. On to the final story shared by u/Linklewinkle. At that time, a coworker lost his faith in customers. I guess to start up, I should mention the business I'm in. We're a small business in Florida that maintains generators for large corporations or buildings like airports or hospitals. After Hurricane Irma, there was a rule in place saying that nursing homes or medical care facilities have to have working generators at all times. This opened an onslaught of the stingiest, rudest, and most bitter customers we have had so far. A lot of these facilities love to cut corners and save a couple of bucks, in ways that may have not necessarily be morally acceptable or quite legal, and don't like that they are now required to pay extra money in order to keep their clients alive and healthy. This is the story of one such guy, whom I will call Crapface, or CF for short. Crapface had to get his facility generators fixed after a failed inspection. I think he knew it was broken, he just didn't want it fixed until he was told to, and called us up. He got a hold of my supervisor, and since we're the only two people in our department, we tend to put calls on speakers. I was next to him for this part and heard everything. They figured out what generators he had, an outdated POS that just barely met state standards but was about as old as I am. And my supervisor promised to send him the quote via email. He made it up based on our computer's prices and sent it out. Now, my supervisors like to try to save customers money where he can, and after checking out manufacturer's website, he figured he'd be able to buy cheaper on eBay. Sometimes you can get older parts cheaper on Amazon or eBay, but this is a fairly rare occurrence. He told me to call customers and to tell him that we'd be able to knock off $300 with this price. Me: hi, this is Linklewinkle from General Generator Company. Can I speak to Crapface? DF: this is him. What do you need? Me: well, I just wanted to let you know that we were able to find this part for cheaper. Your original total was going to be $2,100, but now I can send you a new invoice for $1,800. Is your default email okay? DF: yes, that is fine. Thank you so much. So I remake the invoice for $1,800, send it to him, and wait him to send it back and sign so we can schedule the work. Except he doesn't. We don't hear back from him for a week, then he gets transferred back to me. Me: hi, this is Linklewinkle from General Company. How can I help you? DF: hi, Linklewinkle. This is Crapface. I received an $1,800 invoice from you, but your boss called and said it would only be $700. I just need you to fix it so I can sign it and send it to you. Me: oh, actually, that was me. After pulling up your account, I see that we were able to find a cheaper part for you, but the total is still going to be $1,800. Would you like me to resend the itemized invoice so you can see exactly what you're paying for? DF: flustered at this point. No, supervisors was actually the one who called me. I just need you to honor what he said and change it for me. Now keep in mind this call was on speaker and supervisor is at the desk directly next to mine. I make eye contact with him and he shakes his head, obviously annoyed. Me: you know what, sir? Let me transfer you to him. So I put him on hold for 10 seconds, then take him off since my supervisor can hear him fine on my phone anyway. Basically, this dude started getting increasingly aggressive, while he tells my supervisors that he was told it would be $700 and he wouldn't pay a cent more. My supervisor explains how the rest of the parts alone cost more than that, and he also needs to pay for our technician to install their darn things. DF absolutely loses his crap about how he could buy the parts himself and look up a YouTube tutorial to install it. Yeah, right. And supervisor tells him that under no circumstances and he will be lowering the price further, so DF hangs up. The guy calls back a week later saying he'll be paying 1,800 bucks, but surprise surprise, the part on eBay is no longer there. Have fun paying full price, butthole. TLDR, we save customer 300 bucks out of kindness of our hearts, but he tries to scam us into taking a net loss, ends up paying for a full price. Well, that sucks so hard. Sometimes when you try to do something nice for a client, it seems like you end up regretting it at some point. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.